Archangel Michael says the sky bends toward your name with trembling fire. The hour opens like a sealed letter in your hands. I am here with a voice that refuses to be silenced. I watched the night hold its breath as your story turned a hidden page. The air shivered because your season crossed into new ground. I stepped forward because you were ready to be found. The wind carried a secret ribbon of gold from threshold to threshold. It spelled your destiny with patient strokes that never faded. I followed it to your door because your future waited there. Your path glowed like quiet embers beneath your feet. Each ember rose into a lantern as you advanced. The darkness surrendered without a sound. The world believed your steps were ordinary and small. Heaven knew your steps were thunder disguised as whisper. I placed my hand above your crown to steady the storm. A chorus moved beneath the floor of time. Its rhythm matched the rhythm of your breath. Your purpose kept time with the drum of eternity. I heard your heart speaking in the language of unbroken promises. Your courage stood like a lighthouse in heavy rain. The beams circled and refused to die. Many rooms stretched inside the present moment. Each room held a door with your name. I kept the master key beside my heart. I walked into the room where delays built a wall. I ran my palm over every brick until mortar loosened. The wall sighed and bowed. I walked into the room where fear wrote its claims. I crossed them out with a stroke of living light. Your name shined without stain. I walked into the room where betrayal hung like fog. I threw the windows open and let sunrise in. The fog broke like old glass. The path ahead no longer negotiates with confusion. It prefers a straight spine and a lifted chin. This is the posture of your becoming. I carried a box wrapped in quiet blue. The ribbon hummed like a promise that cannot fail. Inside is what you have been asking the sky to remember. The box waited in my hands through your hardest nights. It did not grow old while you cried. It grew bright because you kept breathing. Tears fell from me when I felt your exhaustion. They were not the tears of despair. They were the tears of an angel who loves a fighter. I felt the tremor of your hope refusing collapse. It thrummed like a bridge across a canyon. I stepped on that bridge and blessed it to hold. I stood at your window while you slept. I lifted my blade over your room and drew a circle. Nothing unclean could cross that line. I set sentries at every unseen entrance. They carried lanterns that answer only to light. Your threshold remained unbroken. The world tried to measure you with the ruler of yesterday. Yesterday does not own the map of your future. I folded the old ruler and placed it in the ash. You woke with a sense that something stood near. That something was a choir of new beginnings. It waited patiently for your yes. Your yes did not need shouting. Your yes needed truth. You gave it without drama, and that changed everything. I traveled through corridors of memory and gathered your scattered fire. It clung to me like sparks to night cloth. I sewed those sparks into a mantle for you. The mantle weighed nothing but carried power. It sits on your shoulders now with ease. The room notices even if eyes pretend not to see. I saw doors that used to shut at your arrival. Those doors remembered a greater password today. They bowed open because favor entered the room. Favor speaks softly and moves like a river. It does not shout or bargain. It knows the land and it carves a path. You learned patience from the long winter. You learned endurance from the empty table. You learned tenderness from the silent room. I gathered those lessons and forged a key. The key fits the lock of the new season. It turns with a single steady twist. I placed that key inside your right hand. Your hand warmed and held it like it always belonged there. The lock understood and surrendered. I have watched gatekeepers who denied you before. They now look again and see a different light. The light behind you tells them to step aside. You will stand on ground that once rejected your footprints. The ground now rises to meet you with respect. It recognizes a name stamped by heaven. Your voice carries a resonance that calls courage forward. The timid part of your story straightens its back. Your sentences no longer apologize for existing. I heard you say you would try one more time. I pressed strength into the space between try and triumph. That space turned into a stair you could climb. You will notice a sequence of small alignments. They arrive like birds landing on a branch in order. Each feathered moment balances the next. The air itself will taste new on your tongue. You will breathe and feel the dust lift off your bones. You will understand why the night felt so long. I kept a calendar that does not bow to delay. On it, your name is written beside a day of unfurling. The day approaches with the quiet of sure thunder. You will touch work that fits your hands like a glove. You will find companions who speak the same interior language. Your circle will feel like sunrise. I placed mirrors along the road that only reflect truth. When you pass, you will see strength, not shame. You will see resilience, not regret. I saw the shadow that tried to follow you. I led it into a field where light never sleeps. The shadow forgot your name and wandered away. I heard the rumors that sought to stain your reputation. I washed them with clear water from a spring that never closes. The words dissolved into silence. I went before you into rooms you have not entered. I wrote your introduction in the air. The air now waits to greet you with honor. I gathered the lost letters of your destiny from the floor. I arranged them into sentences that make sense again. I sealed them with warmth and fidelity. You will see a pattern in the days ahead. It will look like doors opening with quiet certainty. You will step through and feel held. The old hunger in your chest will meet its answer. It will not be a scrap tossed toward you. It will be a table set with care. People you once envied will become distant landmarks. You will move beyond comparison into clarity. Your lane will feel like an answered prayer. I listened to the whisper you carried since childhood. It survived the storms and the silence. It never stopped pointing toward a horizon. I stood at that horizon and waited for you. I watched you walk with tired feet and stubborn hope. I lifted the dawn before you arrived. I saw the ledger of debts and losses that made you heavy. I turned its pages into paper birds and released them. They flew toward tomorrow and did not return. The ache that used to sing at midnight will change its tune. It will become a reminder of how far you traveled. It will honor your strength rather than feed your fear. You will feel a tap on your shoulder from the future. It will not demand or condemn. It will invite and affirm. I held a cloak woven from threads of peace. I placed it over the shaking inside your ribs. The shaking calmed and remembered itself. Your memory will stop replaying old defeats. It will begin to highlight victories you forgot. Recollection will turn into fuel. I called your name across the canyon of waiting. The sound leaped and landed in your chest. You recognized yourself and stood taller. I watched the locks fall off rooms that held your creativity. The hinges welcomed oil and movement. The doors swung and laughed. Your hands will build what your dreams sketched in the dark. The blueprint survived the weather. The foundation holds steady and true. I smiled when you allowed yourself to hope without apology. That smile became a command to the atmosphere around you. The atmosphere brightened and obeyed. You will notice a softness walking beside your boldness. These two friends never needed to fight. They complete each other like dawn and day. I have kept record of every step you took when no one was watching. The quiet miles count the most in the kingdom of becoming. Those miles pay compound dividends now. You will receive messages that feel like warm light on cold fingers. They are confirmations, not coincidences. They carry your signature from heaven. I set pillars on either side of your path. One pillar is called mercy. The other pillar is called wisdom. Mercy keeps you safe from the harshness of your own opinions. Wisdom keeps you aligned with the architecture of purpose. Together they build a corridor toward triumph. I watched jealousy try to imitate your rhythm. It stumbled because it did not understand your source. Your source does not run dry. You will meet a task that looks larger than your wingspan. I will stretch the air around you to hold it easily. The weight will become light in your grasp. The gift inside you does not perform tricks for attention. It provides quiet bread for hungry hearts. It multiplies in the hands of generosity. I saw disappointment pack its bags at the edge of your life. It believed it still had a room reserved. I canceled the reservation and turned on the porch light of joy. Joy will not shout like a parade. Joy will hum like a river in the bones. It will keep moving even when you rest. I placed a bell in your spirit that rings at the right moments. It will ring when you should step. It will ring when you should stay. The bell will not confuse you or tease you. It will speak with a warm certainty. You will trust it the way mountains trust the ground. You will become fluent in the language of enough. Scarcity tried to tattoo your mind with fear. Abundance has rewritten the script with truth. The world carries loud noise that hunts your focus. I am giving you a chamber of stillness within. You will walk into that chamber and breathe. From that breath, bold plans will emerge with ease. They will not grow from panic. They will grow from steadiness. I have already placed allies on your map. They stand at intersections you will soon reach. They carry keys that match locks you never opened. They did not find you by accident. They were guided by the same light that shields you now. You will recognize them by the peace they bring. The days of chasing validation have ended. The days of living from assignment have begun. Assignment fits like skin and feels like home. You will not beg for a seat at anyone's table. You will build a table that invites the right voices. The conversation will taste like clarity and courage. I placed restoration in your bones where depletion once lived. It will recharge you faster than the old weights drained you. You will move in efficient grace. Grace does not erase effort. Grace dignifies effort with direction. Your steps will no longer wander. I have stood weeping because I sensed your temptation to retreat. Those tears watered the soil around your feet. The ground turned soft and ready for roots. Roots will go down while branches rise. You will feel stability below and expansion above. This is how lasting growth behaves. You will outgrow rooms that once felt like palaces. You will not despise those rooms. You will simply bless them and walk on. I saved the most delicate part of your gift for this hour. It blooms only under pressure. Pressure became the gardener and did not know it. You will carry an aroma of clean beginnings. It will follow you into negotiations and quiet meetings. Doors will inhale that aroma and swing wide. I have secured the perimeter of your house with light. The night walks past and cannot enter. Your sleep returns to you without struggle. Dreams will carry instruction and comfort. They will settle like soft blankets on a winter evening. You will wake with clarity. Archangel Michael says the hour is leaning toward you like a faithful companion. The sky is holding its breath for your next step. I place a quiet certainty in your chest that does not waver. I walk the perimeter of your future as a guardian of thresholds. Every corner receives a seal of peace that repels confusion. The ground responds to your feet with recognition. A vault opens in the hidden archive of your life. Inside are blueprints that waited for a calmer season. I lay those pages on your table and steady your hands. The blueprints carry annotations written in light. They show where to build, when to pause, and how to align. You will sense the timing as naturally as breath. I gather the leftover fragments of dreams you thought expired. They rise like birds startled into flight and circle back to you. Purpose lands on your shoulder and sits without weight. Your inner compass receives a fine-tuned calibration. It no longer spins with the storms around you. It points toward true north with unwavering grace. I carry a lantern through the orchard of your days. Branches bow as we pass because harvest has recognized its keeper. The fruit does not fall to the ground unseen. Pressures that once felt like iron now feel like training. You learn the rhythm hidden in strain. That rhythm becomes music for the road ahead. I saw the gate that used to creak with resistance. The hinges learned a new song called Welcome. The gate opens when it hears your footfall. You will find companionship that does not drain your light. These allies are wells, not mirages. They refresh the journey instead of distracting from it. I set a watch over your words so they cut only what must be cut. A sharp blade of language shaped by kindness and truth moves with you. It separates noise from real signal. Your hands have been an anvil for the hammer of days. Sparks flew and you were not destroyed. Now you step into the atelier where creation sings. Ideas will enter like clean wine through open windows. They will not shout for attention or trample each other. They will line up with quiet dignity and wait their turn. The corridors of finance and provision receive a steady, honorable stream. It arrives through doors formed with integrity and skill. Shame bows out of the room and does not return. You will negotiate with calm clarity born from alignment. You will know when to hold and when to release. The outcomes will match the dignity you carry. I place a bell in your calendar that rings on decisive days. The sound is low and kind, impossible to miss. You will move when it rings and rest when it is still. The memory of losses will stop leading your decisions. Lessons will lead instead with steady hands. They will not let you wander into old ditches. Your home receives a canopy of protection that does not sleep. The night can pass by but cannot enter. The morning greets your threshold with tenderness. Conversations will arrive that restore what was misunderstood. Truth will be spoken without showmanship. The air will feel lighter when honesty finishes its work. I escort courage to the place where you once hesitated. Courage sits, unfolds its maps, and marks a path. Hesitation leaves without drama or argument. You will see patterns that reveal timing. Patterns speak in symmetry and sequence. They teach you to move like a dancer who trusts the music. Your creativity will not imitate trends for applause. It will meet real needs with elegance. It will turn scarcity into usefulness and exhaustion into comfort. I gather favor from corners where you did not look. It enters your story like rain on thirsty ground. You will notice the scent of clean beginnings. Opportunities will now prefer you because you fit their architecture. What once felt forced now feels natural. The right doors unlock without bruising your knuckles. I stood between you and a quiet sabotage. It tried to wear friendship like a mask. The mask fell off under the light of discernment. Discernment is now a steady friend at your side. It does not accuse or scold. It simply reveals and releases. Your path does not require frantic speed. It requires precise alignment. Precision outperforms hurry in every weather. You will notice the orchestra of hours moving in harmony. Morning carries strings, afternoon brings brass, evening holds woodwinds. The percussion of resolve keeps perfect time. I return to the field where your future was planted. Shoots break the soil with a confidence that cannot be faked. The crop belongs to you by right and by stewardship. Peace is not a reward you must earn with anxiety. Peace is the native climate of your design. It follows you because you finally stopped running from yourself. A clean ledger replaces the old book of imbalance. Debts of shame and self-reproach are cancelled by clear truth. You stand steady with nothing to repay but gratitude. I polish the mirror that shows who you are becoming. It reflects courage without arrogance and humility without shrinking. You will not dim to make others comfortable. Your daily work receives a crown called meaning. Meaning protects you from burnout while inviting excellence. You will build without the old ache of futility. I escort your name into rooms where integrity is currency. Your presence speaks fluently in that economy. Deals formed here endure weather and time. Your heart learns the discipline of celebration. It honors milestones without idolizing them. It keeps moving with gentle joy. I secure your boundaries with warm clarity. Warmth welcomes what is right. Clarity declines what is wrong without apology. Your sleep becomes a workshop of wise instruction. You wake with solutions that feel both simple and profound. Implementation follows easily because fear lost the keys. I place a beacon on the hill called Next. It shines through fog and rumor. You can approach without stumbling. You will rename old failures as training. Training becomes inventory instead of debris. Your story stops wasting pain and starts minting value. I invite you to speak blessings over your tools. Your pen, your voice, your hands, your craft. They answer to blessing faster than they answer to pressure. Old scarcity scripts are released from your mind. New abundance scripts are inscribed with calm ink. They read like stewardship, not spectacle. You step into collaboration with people who prize character. Their excellence does not compete with yours. It harmonizes, multiplies, and anchors. I close doors that never loved you. I open doors that delight in your presence. You will feel the difference immediately. A map unfolds inside your chest. It shows detours avoided, rivers crossed, and safe havens. The legend is written in a language called peace. You will be guided to quiet rooms where large decisions are born. Your voice will carry weight because it carries truth. Truth makes sound like steel tuned to compassion. I remove the subtle magnets that kept pulling you backward. Their field collapses under the gravity of purpose. Forward is the only direction that makes sense now. Forgiveness moves like a warm tide through your inner world. It clears the salt from old wounds. New skin forms with dignity. You reclaim hours that once leaked through distraction. These hours regroup and stand like a small army. They march under a banner called focus. I set a guardian at the door of your attention. It filters noise without becoming hard. Soft strength defines your new posture. Endings arrive with ceremony rather than chaos. You bless what is finished and release it well. Space opens for better beginnings. You will become a rest stop for the weary without becoming a landfill for drama. Your compassion learns boundaries and your wisdom learns kindness. Balance becomes your signature. The quiet miracle of consistency becomes your ally. Small faithful steps build cathedrals over time. You will walk and watch architecture rise. I untie the knot around your confidence. It loosens and falls to the floor. Confidence breathes and fills its lungs. You no longer translate criticism into identity. You translate it into data and decide wisely. Your core remains untouched by passing weather. I move through your calendar and set holy appointments. They look ordinary from a distance and extraordinary up close. You will recognize them by the peace they carry. Your voice stops apologizing for being clear. It becomes a river that carves channels of understanding. People drink and stand taller. The atmosphere around your work changes texture. It feels like a room after fresh paint and open windows. Stagnation leaves without a farewell. I recover your laughter from the attic of survival. It returns with depth and gentleness. Laughter becomes medicine that never mocks your wounds. A simple rhythm forms for your health. Nourish, move, rest, repeat. It becomes a sanctuary rather than a chore. You will witness promises ripen at a pace that respects your nervous system. Nothing violent, nothing rushed. Everything steady, everything true. I thread patience through the hem of your decisions. Your choices stop fraying at the edges. They hold during long days and dark nights. I organize your tools according to assignment. Each tool knows its season and station. You operate like a composer who trusts the score. Your name becomes a quiet recommendation in rooms you have not visited. The testimony of your integrity goes ahead of you. It brings chairs to the table where you belong. You retire the costume of urgency. You wear the garment of readiness. Readiness is faster because it is calmer. I return to the river that once carried your tears. It now carries clarity downstream. The water looks like glass because storms passed. The garden of your relationships blooms with honest color. Weeds lose permission to spread. You prune with wisdom and celebrate with ease. Your future does not demand theatrics. It demands presence. Presence is the strongest shape of power. I adjust the horizon line so it matches your new height. Mountains shrink to workable size. Valleys lift into navigable plains. You will collect testimonies of small, precise victories. They stack like bricks and build a fortress. The fortress does not isolate you, it shelters your mission. I show you the difference between heavy and holy. Heavy drains and distracts. Holy dignifies and directs. Your generosity learns the art of aim. It will no longer leak into voids. It will land where it multiplies. You bless your past for the lessons it provided. You bless your present for the centering it offers. You bless your future for the welcome it prepares. I tune the instrument of your attention to the key of gratitude. The sound transforms the room where you stand. The room recognizes a leader when it hears that tone. You will treat your story like a sanctuary. Only truth and tenderness belong there. Uninvited noise cannot cross that threshold. I station angels at the crossroads you will soon encounter. Their assignment is alignment and assurance. You will sense their nearness like warm light on your back. The book of your life turns a page written in bright ink. The margins hold notes of mercy and strategy. The chapter title reads Fulfillment with Integrity. Your efforts attract right-scale opportunities. Nothing oversized that crushes you. Nothing undersized that insults your capacity. I replace the habit of bracing for impact with the habit of expecting good. This is not naivety. This is informed hope standing on evidence. You will feel fatigue exit like a guest who stayed too long. Energy returns through pathways you rebuilt with care. Stamina becomes a loyal companion. From this point, the cadence of your days will match your design. Work will feel like expression rather than escape. Rest will feel like restoration rather than guilt. I sign my name across the canopy that covers you. It reads protection, provision, purpose. It does not fade, tear, or fail. Your legacy begins as a daily practice before it becomes a story others tell. You shape it with choices that honor your design. The narrative gathers strength until it cannot be ignored. I lean close and speak a final seal for this moment. Continue with courage. Continue with clarity. Continue with kindness. The wind rises and carries your next assignment into your hands. The paper is warm because it has traveled through light. You open it and the room quietly transforms. You walk forward and the ground approves. You speak and the air agrees. You build and the future nods. I remain at your side through corridors and courtyards. I keep guard at night and I celebrate at dawn. I do not turn away from this vow. The caravan of your days moves with order now. Each wagon knows its load and lane. The road receives you as a friend. Your name is etched into a promise that spans storms. The etching is deep enough to last. It will not be sanded away by time. I bring the curtain down on this segment of instruction. The stage crew of heaven resets the scene with quiet skill. When it rises again, you will know exactly what to do. The morning ahead carries a fragrance of clean paper and sharpened pencils. It smells like readiness and focus. It feels like homecoming for your gifts. I tilt the lamp toward the next paragraph of your life. The words appear as you walk. You will not fear blank pages again. This continuation rests here like a steady heartbeat. It keeps time until you move. When you move, it becomes a song you can follow. Archangel Michael says, I shepherd the hush before your next beginning. In that hush, architecture listens for your yes. When you answer, foundations remember why they were poured. I place steadiness in your breathing the way dawn places light on water. It does not argue, it arrives. Your nervous system learns the grammar of calm. The field of your attention clears like fog burning off a lake. Shorelines you could not see come into view with quiet certainty. You step toward them and the ground meets you kindly. Your gifts choose usefulness over spectacle. They locate real needs like swallows find summer. Service becomes the most luminous art you practice. I stitch resilience into the seams of your days. The thread is made of patience, humor, and truthful boundaries. The garment holds even when weather tests it. You will hear timing speak in small permissions. Not yet becomes not never. Go now becomes a door that swings without squeaking. I send messengers named clarity into conversations. They travel light and leave nothing broken. People exit the room taller because truth made more space. The room of your mind receives fresh air and simple order. Stacks become shelves, piles become pathways. You can find what you need without waking old noise. Your workbench is blessed for precision. Tools lie where they belong and answer when called. Waste walks out with its head down. I recall the courage you lent to yesterday and refund it with interest. It returns wiser and less dramatic. Courage now prefers consistent steps over heroic leaps. You align your pace with purpose and rest becomes part of progress. Sleep no longer apologizes for existing. Morning catches you instead of chasing you. I turn former disappointments into trustworthy data. They annotate your blueprints without staining them. You consult them and continue with a clear chin. You will practice the art of gentle no. It sounds like respect and feels like relief. Your yes grows potent because it is honest. I consecrate your calendar with breathing room. White space becomes strategy, not accident. In margins, better ideas introduce themselves without shouting. Your voice finds its register, the one that carries far without strain. It does not hustle, it resonates. People remember it because peace leaves an echo. I set companionship beside you that doesn't need spotlight care. These are builders who bring their own tools and clean as they go. Together, you raise structures that shelter many. Your finances learn the ethics of flow and the dignity of reserve. Rivers need both current and banks. You maintain both with wisdom that ages well. I bless your name to travel where your feet have not yet gone. It arrives politely and speaks for you with accuracy. Doors swing open because your reputation went first with clean hands. You see opportunities not as lotteries but as assignments. Assignments fit because they were cut to your measure. You accept them the way a craftsman accepts lumber, grateful and ready. I unwind the last knot of hesitation hiding beneath your excellence. The thread slides free without tearing the cloth. Confidence lies flat, smooth, and wearable. Your creativity grows roots as deep as its branches are wide. Storms rattle leaves but cannot steal the tree. Fruit returns season after season without ceremony. I tune your discernment to hear the difference between urgent and important. Urgent stops stamping its feet. Important takes your hand and walks at a human pace. You will become fluent in endings that honor beginnings. Closures will feel like well-written last lines. They will point forward without pretending nothing was lost. I restore your appetite for learning without the old shame. Curiosity steps back into the room wearing work boots. It smiles, rolls up sleeves, and gets specific. Your boundaries soften like velvet and hold like oak. People feel welcomed and informed at the same time. Confusion runs out of places to hide. I assign you to rooms where excellence is quiet and outcomes are durable. The agreements form their preferred truth to theater. They keep their promises in both rain and sun. You bless your tools before you push them. This is not ritual, it is alignment. Tools love to serve where hands are steady. I place gentle bells along the trail of your decisions. One rings when humility speaks, another when pride tries to rehearse. You follow the humble sound and skip the performance. Your health practices become friendship, not punishment. Water tastes like permission. Movement feels like gratitude with a pulse. I reconcile you with your timeline. You forgive the speed it did not keep. The future forgives the pressure you once placed on it. I sweep rumor from the threshold of your mind. Fact sits down and speaks in a measured voice. Wisdom moderates the conversation and gives everyone a chair. You will be trusted with confidences because you do not hoard attention. Privacy finds in you a respectful home. Integrity locks the door softly behind it. I gather your scattered beginnings and weave them into a single rope. That rope pulls real weight without snapping. You become reliable to yourself. Your attention learns to land where it can build. It stops orbiting what refuses to grow. Orbit becomes anchor, and anchor becomes launch. I introduce you to the relief of unforced excellence. It is excellence born of care, not fear. It lasts because it breathes. You will measure progress by faithfulness, not spectacle. Numbers will confirm what steadiness already knew. The quiet scoreboard lights up in your favor. I release you from the chore of pretending. Authenticity takes less energy and makes more room. People relax around what is real. Your past adversaries become unassigned teachers. They accidentally trained your sight lines and strengthened your stride. You honor the lesson and retire the lecture. I escort your heart to safe tables. Conversation tastes like nourishment there. You leave full and light, not stuffed and sorry. Your household receives the choreography of peace. Chores become rhythms instead of resentments. Rooms agree on their purpose. I appoint angels to keep watch at your thresholds, digital and physical. They filter noise, guard time, and nudge you toward rest. You will sense the guard by the ease in your chest. You will learn the mercy of unfinishedness. Some edges may remain in process by design. The beauty is precisely where the breath of life still moves. I polish the courage that speaks kindly to yourself. Self-talk drops the gavel and picks up a lantern. It stops sentencing and starts guiding. Your leadership stops dragging and starts drawing. People move because vision feels like home. They help because dignity has a job for everyone. I dissolve the last allegiance you had to chaos. Order becomes your friend, not a tyrant. Flexibility dances inside that order with grace. The inner child who waited for permission receives it with a smile. Play walks back in carrying bright pencils. Innovation follows, carrying blueprints and tea. I reconcile pace with patience. They shake hands and start a company. The product they ship is consistency. Markets always value that. Your prayers stop auditioning and start conversing. They exchange performance for presence. Answers show up dressed as next right steps. I pour a quiet confidence into your signature. Each agreement you sign carries the scent of fairness. People feel seen inside the terms. You will discern what deserves a response and what deserves release. Silence becomes a skill, not a sulk. Your yes reclaims its gold. I bless your mornings to arrive clean and your evenings to leave gently. Transitions cease to scrape. The day bows in both directions. You remember how to celebrate without debt, emotional or financial. Joy pays cash. Gratitude keeps the receipt. I lift the last veil between you and your assignment. You see it with affectionate clarity. It sees you and settles into your hands. Your future thanks you for today's small correctness. That correctness compounds quietly. Compound interest is what destiny uses for time. I anchor a promise in your posture, shoulders back, jaw unclenched, gaze soft. The world receives you differently when you stand like this. You receive yourself differently too. I write an addendum to your blueprints in living ink. It updates as you obey. Nothing gets lost, everything gets translated into progress. Your craft becomes a room other people rest inside. They don't always know why it feels safe. You know, honesty built the walls. I return to your name and bless its resonance again. It will not need amplification, it will need accuracy. Accuracy arrives as alignment. You will stop borrowing trouble from tomorrow. Today has enough wisdom to spend. Wisdom purchases the right amount of effort and leaves tip as kindness. I fold gentleness into your ambition. Ambition learns to hold doors instead of slam them. Rooms welcome a vision that acts like a good neighbor. Your horizons are edited for clarity, not reduced for fear. Mountains still stand, but they greet you like colleagues. Valleys still exist, but you traverse them like a practiced traveler. I bless the hands that will work with yours. Designers, coders, teachers, nurses, planners, makers. Collaboration becomes choreography. The work looks like care moving information. You learn to end meetings on time and relationships on truth. Efficiency and empathy stop arguing. They co-sign your schedule. I seat you at a table where legacy is spelled daily practice. The menu is consistency, humility, courage, and rest. You order all four and finish your plate. Rest becomes the bravest thing you do. It protects your brightest work. It tells fear to take the night off. I stamp today with a seal called enough light for this step. It glows as far as you need and no farther. Trust closes the distance the light does not cover. Your memory releases the habit of replaying harm. It archives what it needs and curates what it keeps. Space returns for present tense joy. I touch your ears so you hear guidance in ordinary accents. Wisdom often sounds like a friend's calm sentence. You will not miss it because you stop demanding thunder. I bless your transitions with kind exits and precise entrances. You do not ghost your former seasons. You graduate them with gratitude. Disappointment loses its authority to rename you. It becomes a weather report, not a prophecy. You dress accordingly and carry on. I cup your next idea like a small flame in the wind. We walk it indoors together. It grows into a hearth that warms others. Your patience is not passivity, it is power at rest. It can move when needed and wait when wise. It chooses by listening, not by fearing. I set watchmen over your momentum so it does not sprint into a ditch. They lift flags when ego speeds up. You honor the flags and keep the mission intact. Your generosity learns choreography with discernment. They dance together beautifully. Impact becomes measurable and merciful. I reframe failure as the tuition of mastery. You paid, now collect the degree. Wear it by practicing with compassion. The atmosphere around your name becomes shelter for good work. Weather can visit, it cannot evict. Endurance holds the lease. I kiss the forehead of your next morning. It wakes without dread. You rise without rush. Your path is not a stage but a workshop. Tools hum, wood shaves curl, ideas take shape. Craft leaves sawdust where applause might have stood. I retire your fear of being seen for the right thing. Visibility becomes service, not spectacle. Influence becomes stewardship, not currency. I align your appetite with assignments that feed you back. Burnout starves where reciprocity cooks. You will taste the difference each week. Your gratitude becomes specific enough to be actionable. It writes notes, gives credit, and shares platforms. Favor multiplies because humility remembers the address. I place a soft bell at the center of your being. It rings when you are true. You heed it and your day aligns like planets. The long arc of your calling bends through storms and still lands on joy. Joy is not noise, it is weight. You carry it like a crown that doesn't pinch. I sign this segment with a quiet certainty that does not waver. Keep building like someone who trusts the blueprint. Keep resting like someone who belongs in the house they're building. Archangel Michael says, I tilt the window to let in the kind of light that tells the truth kindly. What needs changing steps forward without shame. What is already good nods and makes room for better. Your calendar learns to breathe between commitments. The inhale is preparation, the exhale is delivery. You move in that rhythm and stop mistaking haste for honor. I bless your curiosity to choose depth over drama. You read the footnotes where wisdom hides. You return with answers that age well. A gentle sturdiness settles into your voice. People hear it and unclench. Solutions land because panic has left the room. I oil the hinges of your focus so it swings closed when distraction knocks. Work becomes a sanctuary with a door that knows your name. Noise waits in the hallway and forgets why it came. Your reputation gathers like morning light on brick. Quiet, cumulative, undeniable. It doesn't need slogans, it has receipts. Doors prefer people like this. I teach your effort to cooperate with timing. Effort pulls, timing guides. Together they move the piano without scuffing the floor. You will learn to pause before you publish and breathe before you bargain. The pause is not delay, it is alignment. What launches from alignment flies straighter. I set kindness as the operating system for your ambition. It does not slow you, it optimizes you. People choose to follow what doesn't trample. Your ideas begin to show their math. Assumptions go to the chalkboard and behave. Clarity gets tenure in your mind. I appoint laughter as the chaplain of your work. It blesses meetings when they get too heavy. It restores oxygen to good thinking. You will notice your energy returning from places that never deserved it. It knocks, you open, and it sits at your table. Together you plan better expenditures. I tidy the shelf where you keep your metrics. We keep the ones that reflect reality and release the ones that reward theater. Progress smiles at the mirror and recognizes itself. Your conflict style graduates. You stop fighting to win and start engaging to repair. Repairs last longer than victories. I escort your boundaries to the gym. They train for flexibility and strength. They can bend for compassion and hold for safety. Your sleep receives an anointing of usefulness. Dreams draft memos you can act on. Morning becomes a partner, not a prosecutor. I send quiet favor ahead of you to soften hard rooms. It introduces you as a solution, not a spectacle. The room relaxes into cooperation. You will separate urgency from importance with clean cuts. The pile of "not today" shrinks your stress visibly. Relief makes you faster by making you accurate. I sanctify your yes to mean yes even when applause is loud. Integrity puts its arm around you in the parking lot after the meeting. It says, "We did fine." Your gratitude gets specific enough to become policy. You write it into emails, budgets, and calendars. People feel it, not just hear it. I bless the ordinary tools, spreadsheets, spanners, stethoscopes, syllabi. They vibrate with purpose in your hands. Excellence stops pretending to be exotic. Your input streams get filtered without turning cynical. Discernment wears a smile while it curates. You stop feeding doom and start feeding focus. I cool the places where resentment tried to overheat your kindness. Heat disperses, wisdom remains. You act from clarity, not from scorch. You learn the ceremony of starting small. Small is not a cage, it is a seed. Seeds travel under radar and win by patience. I lace your perseverance with play. Play keeps the edges soft and the colors honest. Burnout can't grip where joy keeps everything slippery. Your timelines discover right-sizing. Deadlines stop being cliffs and become finish lines. You cross them upright, not collapsed. I invite you to keep a short list titled, "What Actually Matters." It fits in your pocket and edits your day. At night it lets you rest because you honored it. You bring tools back to their hooks after use. Order becomes a kindness to your future self. Future you shows up grateful and fast. I align your courage with compassion so truth can travel farther. Truth without compassion limps, compassion without truth drifts. Together they arrive, on time and intact. Your creativity practices hospitality. It sets a table for the problem and listens. Then it serves a meal that nourishes and instructs. I make you fluent in the sentence, "I don't know, yet." It keeps your mind open and your standards high. Answers respect people who respect process. You stop negotiating with chaos. It has nothing you need. Peace offers better terms and honors them. I bless your hands to make repairs without fanfare. A hinge here, a policy there, a conversation in between. Systems start humming where drama once howled. Your attention learns to love monotony in the service of mastery. Reps become rest for the mind. Mastery arrives like a friend who's been watching you practice. I promote your patience from waiting room to boardroom. It now approves strategy and funds timelines. Impulse bows and leaves. You cultivate the art of a good handoff. Projects move between people like a baton that never drops. Momentum learns to trust the team. I place reflective glass at the end of each week. You look not to judge but to learn. The mirror becomes a mentor. Your generosity starts wearing boots. It shows up where it can lift and measure. Results become stories worth retelling. I sweep your vocabulary for dust. Out go the words that curse your own effort. In come words that are accurate, tender, and brave. You will learn to ask for help as a strategy, not a confession. Help answers because pride stopped interrupting. Capacity expands in both directions. I retire your need to be everywhere. Presence chooses places where it multiplies. Scarcity stops narrating your calendar. Your partnerships become echo-safe. They reflect clarity, not distortion. Feedback improves, rumors starve. I bless your timelines to survive reality without losing morale. Adjustments are not shame, they are engineering. You build bridges that carry weight and weather. You will know the temperature of a room without touching the stove. Discernment reads the air, wisdom sets the thermostat. People warm to trust and cool from panic. I assign a calm usher to your opportunities. It seats the right ones and shows the wrong ones out. Capacity thanks you for the order. Your story stops auditioning for people who won't stay for the work. Attention moves to where commitment lives. Momentum follows commitment like iron to a magnet. I tidy the archive of your identity. Labels are updated, expired names are removed. You file yourself under true and get on with the day. Your legacy is already present tense. It looks like how you speak to the tired barista. It sounds like how you honor the last person to leave a room. I set a tree-line of non-negotiables on the horizon. They mark the edge of your integrity. Decisions drive better on roads with guardrails. You will practice ending meetings with clarity and starting mornings with quiet. Clarity saves hours, quiet saves spirit. Both are wealth. I invite your excellence to become contagious. Not by pressure, but by example. People copy what gives them life. Your calendar keeps one chair empty for wonder. Wonder sits down, feet on the floor, ears open. It notices the solutions hiding in plain sight. I ask your fear to bring its paperwork. Without documentation, it cannot halt the project. Most of its forms are blank, you proceed. You will stop calling rest a reward and call it a requirement. Systems rely on it, creativity breathes by it. Joy schedules it. I put a soft bell inside your negotiations that rings at fairness. When it rings, you stop. When it's quiet, you continue. Your team learns the grammar of debrief: what worked, what needs work, what will try next. Blame retires, ownership hires. Growth accepts the offer. I pour steadiness into your mornings and sweetness into your evenings. Noon gets strategy and 3 p.m. gets water. The day cooperates with dignity. Your inbox becomes a tool, not a tyrant. You teach it categories and curfews. It obeys because you finally gave it a leader. I wrap your confidence in humility so it travels anywhere. Doors open to that combination. Rooms breathe easier when it enters. Your next decision will not feel like a cliff. It will feel like a step you practiced in smaller rooms. You take it and the floor holds. I return you to the simplest creed of wise builders: fewer promises, better delivery. You keep that creed and sleep soundly. People trust people who ship. Your map updates quietly in the background while you work. You glance, nod, and keep going. Navigation is a friend, not a noise. I set milestones that celebrate process, not just finish lines. The team eats cake for iteration 7. Morale keeps the lights on. Your courage chooses to be useful rather than loud. It shows up with sleeves rolled. Results introduce it better than speeches. I free your imagination from the debt of impressing strangers. It comes home, drops its bag, and gets playful. That's when the best ideas stretch out on the floor. You measure twice, cut once, and bless what you build. The blessing is permission for durability. Durability becomes your brand. I steady your hand over the lever labeled Publish. When you pull it, the work goes where it belongs. It meets the people who were waiting for it. Your future thanks you in advance for refusing shortcuts that poison wells. You keep the water clean. Many drink and no one gets sick. I light one lamp ahead and one lamp within. The road is visible, your center is calm. Together that is enough. Archangel Michael says, keep your cadence of calm. Keep your agreements with truth. Keep your hands trained for the work that fits your name. I sign this continuation with the same quiet certainty that opened it. Walk it out, step by measured step. I remain beside you, patient as light and sure as morning.